Snow fell gently over the small town of Evergreen, Colorado, covering rooftops and streets in a soft, glittering blanket. The scent of pine and cinnamon floated through the air as Emma Parker tugged her scarf tighter, trying to keep warm. Her daughter, Lily, skipped ahead, tiny boots crunching in the fresh snow. The little girl's laughter rang out, full of innocence and hope. Emma smiled, though her heart felt heavy. This Christmas was supposed to be joyful, but for her, it had always carried the quiet ache of missing someone she could never replace. Lily turned suddenly, her wide brown eyes looking up at Emma. "Mom, I wish I had a dad for Christmas," she said softly, her voice trembling with longing. Emma's stomach tightened. She knelt to meet her daughter's gaze. "I know, sweetheart," she murmured, forcing a reassuring smile. "I know." They walked through the town square, where festive lights twinkled against the snowy backdrop. Children's faces glowed as they drank hot cocoa and decorated cookies, but Emma felt out of place. The idea of Lily imagining a father for the holidays had never left her mind, and now it was too late to turn back. She had promised herself she'd make this Christmas special, but it felt impossible. That's when Emma noticed him, Luke Harrington. Luke was a well-known figure in Evergreen, the owner of the sprawling Harrington Ranch on the outskirts of town. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and impossibly charming, with dark hair dusted with snow and piercing blue eyes that seemed to see everything. Emma had met him only once, at a town fundraiser, but she had never forgotten his easy smile and quiet confidence. Luke was helping a family whose car had skidded on the icy street, lifting packages and joking to keep their spirits up. Something about the way he carried himself gave Emma an idea. Her heart raced as she approached him, Lily clutching her hand. "Luke," Emma began, hesitating. She swallowed hard. I have a strange request. It's for my daughter." Luke looked at her, eyebrows raised, curious. Lily tugged at her mother's coat, shyly hiding behind Emma. Emma took a deep breath. "Lily, she doesn't have a father figure. I was wondering, could you pretend to be her dad? Just for Christmas." Her voice trembled, embarrassed by how absurd it sounded. For a moment, Luke said nothing. Snowflakes caught on his eyelashes, and the corners of his lips quirked into a smile. Then, unexpectedly, he chuckled softly, a deep, warm sound that made Emma's chest feel lighter. "For Christmas, yes," he said, surprising her. Emma blinked, momentarily stunned. "Really?" she asked, doubt mingling with hope. Luke nodded, meeting Lily's wide-eyed gaze. "Really?" he said, kneeling to her level. "I'll be your dad for Christmas, Lily. We'll make it magical." Lily's face lit up, a mix of excitement and disbelief. She ran into Luke's arms, hugging him tightly, and Emma felt a warmth she hadn't felt in years. Maybe, just maybe, this Christmas would be different. As they stood together, the town's holiday lights reflecting in the snow, Emma realized that sometimes the most unexpected people could bring the most extraordinary gifts. And perhaps this Christmas, Luke Harrington was about to give them both the greatest gift of all, a chance to believe in family again. Luke Harrington's promise to Lily echoed in Emma's mind as they walked through the snow-covered town square. She couldn't help but steal glances at him. He was surprisingly natural with Lily, crouching to tie her mitten strings, laughing at her small jokes, and even lifting her onto his broad shoulders so she could see the giant Christmas tree at the center of the square. Emma's heart thumped in an unfamiliar rhythm, part relief, part something else she couldn't yet name. "Wow, look at the lights, Daddy!" Lily exclaimed, her tiny hands pointing at the sparkling ornaments and twinkling bulbs. Emma's stomach flipped. Luke's use of the word, Daddy, felt surreal, yet somehow comforting. Luke smiled down at Lily, ruffling her hair gently. "They're beautiful, huh? Just like you," he said, and Lily giggled, spinning in the snow with pure delight. Emma watched from a few steps back, her heart softening. For the first time in years, she allowed herself to imagine what it might feel like to have a partner, even if only for a few days. They moved through the market, sampling roasted chestnuts and sipping steaming mugs of hot cocoa. Luke engaged Lily in playful conversations, asking what gifts she wanted for Christmas and helping her pick out ornaments for their tree at home, even though he had just met her. Lily's laughter rang out over the crowd, filling Emma with warmth she hadn't realized she'd been missing. At one point, Luke noticed Emma shivering and immediately removed his own thick scarf, wrapping it around her shoulders. She tried to protest, but his calm insistence left her no room to refuse. "It's cold," he said simply, his eyes meeting hers with a soft intensity. I can't let you freeze. Emma's cheeks flushed, not from the cold. There was a quiet intimacy in the small gestures, in the way Luke naturally cared for both her and Lily. She realized this arrangement, pretending he was Lily's father, was already changing something in her heart. As the afternoon turned to evening, they returned to Emma's small home on the edge of town. The windows were fogged with the warmth inside, and the smell of fresh pine and baking cookies welcomed them. Luke helped Lily hang ornaments on their modest tree, lifting her gently so she could place a star at the very top. Emma watched quietly from the doorway, her hands clasped, feeling a mixture of gratitude and uncertainty. This temporary arrangement was supposed to be simple, just a few days of pretending, but Luke's presence had an effect she hadn't anticipated. Her heart, long guarded, felt light for the first time in years. Lily finally jumped into Luke's arms, hugging him tightly. "Thanks, Daddy. You're the best Christmas dad ever," she exclaimed. Luke chuckled, holding her close. Emma felt tears prick her eyes. Maybe, she thought, Christmas miracles weren't just about gifts or snow, they were about people showing up when they were most needed. That night, as Lily slept peacefully in her bed, Emma and Luke sat by the fire, sipping cocoa in silence. The quiet crackle of flames filled the room, but their hearts felt louder than any words. Emma finally spoke, her voice soft but honest. "You're really good with her." Luke smiled, his gaze distant for a moment. "Maybe I'm just discovering that I'm good at the things that matter," he said quietly, and Emma realized that the magic of Christmas was already working its spell on them all. The next morning, Evergreen woke to a fresh layer of snow, sparkling in the crisp sunlight. Emma and Lily were already bundled up in hats, scarves, and mittens, preparing for another day of holiday adventures. Luke arrived shortly after, his truck crunching over the icy driveway, a thermos of cocoa in one hand and a small bag of gifts in the other. "Good morning, ladies," he greeted warmly, brushing snow from his shoulders. Lily ran to him instantly, wrapping her tiny arms around his waist. "Daddy, did you bring cocoa?" she asked, eyes shining with excitement. Luke laughed, handing her the thermos. "Of course, you can't survive Christmas without cocoa." Emma smiled from the doorway, watching him interact with Lily so effortlessly. They spent the morning building snowmen in the yard, Lily insisting that Luke be the snow dad, while she decorated the snow figures with carrot noses and button eyes. Luke's laughter echoed in the quiet winter air, and Emma felt an unfamiliar peace settle over her. She had been so used to doing everything alone, carrying the weight of motherhood and her own doubts, that seeing Luke step into this temporary role with such ease was almost magical. As the afternoon approached, they decided to take a sleigh ride to the nearby hills, the crisp mountain air filling their lungs. Luke pulled the sleigh himself, holding Lily in front of him as they glided through the sparkling snow. Emma followed behind, her hands tucked in her coat pockets, heart-warmed by the scene before her. The playful shouts and laughter of her daughter filled the air, a sound she had almost forgotten could bring her such joy. During a brief rest on a hilltop, Lily nestled into Luke's chest, exhausted but content. "Daddy, this is the best Christmas ever," she whispered. Luke smiled, brushing a stray strand of hair from her face. "I'm glad, Pumpkin. I'm really glad." Emma's heart ached with warmth, the sight of them together stirring emotions she had tried to suppress for years. As the sun dipped below the snowy peaks, casting a golden glow across the landscape, Luke and Emma walked side by side back to the house, Lily skipping ahead. The quiet between them was comfortable, but it carried a tension neither could ignore. Inside, by the glowing fireplace, they sipped cocoa in silence. Emma's gaze lingered on Luke, noticing the gentle way he adjusted Lily's blanket and the tender expression he wore. "I don't know how to thank you," she admitted softly, her voice almost a whisper. Luke leaned back, thoughtful. "You don't need to thank me," he said. "I think, I've been missing this too, this sense of family, even if it's just temporary. Seeing her happy, seeing you smile, it matters more than anything else." Emma felt a shiver, not from the cold, but from the depth of what he'd just said. Her heart, so long guarded, was opening slowly, cautiously, to a possibility she had never considered. Maybe this Christmas, Luke wasn't just pretending. Maybe, in some quiet, unexpected way, he was becoming part of their lives, for real. Outside, snow continued to fall, each flake catching the golden light from the fireplace. Inside, hearts were quietly warming, and the magic of Christmas was only just beginning. Christmas Eve arrived with a sky full of twinkling stars, the snow outside sparkling like diamonds in the cold night. Inside Emma's cozy home, the fire crackled warmly, casting dancing shadows across the walls. The aroma of freshly baked cookies and pine filled the air. Lily could barely contain her excitement, her small hands clutched around a stack of presents, eyes sparkling as she glanced between her mother and Luke. "Mom, Daddy, can we open one gift now?" she asked eagerly, bouncing on the balls of her feet. Emma smiled, feeling warmth blossom in her chest at the sound of Luke being called Daddy. She exchanged a glance with him. Luke grinned, ruffling Lily's hair. "All right, pumpkin, but just one. The rest wait for Santa." They sat together on the living room floor, the little Christmas tree twinkling above them. Lily tore into her first gift with uncontainable delight, revealing a tiny stuffed reindeer. Her laughter filled the room, echoing against the walls, and Emma felt tears prick her eyes. The sight of her daughter so happy, her little world complete with Luke's presence, was more than she had hoped for. After the presents, Luke stood, moving to the fireplace to hang a small stocking of his own. Emma watched him quietly, feeling a pang of emotion she hadn't expected. He was no longer just pretending. His gestures, his gentle presence, the way Lily looked at him like he belonged, it all made her heart ache in a beautiful, terrifying way. As the evening deepened, they sat together on the couch. Lily had dozed off against Luke's shoulder, exhausted but blissful. Emma sipped her cocoa, glancing at him. "Luke, I don't know what to say. You've given us so much more than just a pretend Christmas," she murmured. Luke's hand found hers, warm and steady. "You don't have to say anything," he replied softly. "I didn't expect this either, Emma. But, being here, with both of you, it feels right." Emma swallowed, the words caught in her throat. She realized that the walls she had built around her heart were starting to crumble. The pretend arrangement had grown into something real, something deeper than either of them had planned. Luke's eyes held hers with quiet honesty, and she felt a spark of courage. Outside, snow fell softly, covering the world in white silence. Inside, the three of them sat together, hearts full. Emma leaned her head against Luke's shoulder, feeling the strength and warmth of him beside her. "Maybe this Christmas, maybe this could be the start of something real," she whispered. Luke smiled, brushing a loose strand of hair from her face. "I was hoping you'd feel the same," he said. His voice was gentle but certain. Lily stirred, murmuring in her sleep, and Luke lifted her into his arms. Emma watched, her heart swelling with gratitude and love. In that quiet, magical moment, she realized that sometimes family wasn't about blood, it was about who showed up when it mattered most. And this Christmas, Luke Harrington had arrived. The fire crackled, the snow continued to fall, and for the first time in years, Emma's little family felt complete. The temporary promise had transformed into something permanent, and she allowed herself to believe in miracles again.